Am I losing my essence as a creative if I use AI? Not knowing what to do with the tool, or will the tool decide now how creative I am?
From environmental engineer to creative revolutionary, she didn't just change careers, she rewrote the rules entirely. Ines Poggio has had become a very on-demand AI expert, helping multiple companies to implement AI in their process.
It has been a scary movement for me because you lose your constant stability to suddenly fight for your beliefs. And even though it's not the first time I do it, it's the first time I do it with the risk, as I had a huge impostor syndrome when I started with AI, because nobody knew anything in 2022, not even GPT was launched. I thought that I didn't know enough and that I needed to prove that I knew what I was doing with AI in my team. So you don't have guarantees. You don't know how the team will react, how much support they'll have internally. So there are many things that are out of your control. It's a mindset change and self-knowledge change rather than a technology change. There are months that I feel that I'll better, I don't know, sell in TikTok shop and just earn some quick money. It is somehow scary because you never know the results. And that's the thing with AI. And that gave me the confidence that I needed.
Hi Ines, how are you?
Hi, I'm fine. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you for coming. I'm so happy to have you here. I've been looking forward some time for having this interview, so I'm very happy to that we're having this podcast today. And let me start by asking, how would you define what you do and who you are?
My name is Ines. I'm an art director. I've spent the last 10 years in my career in the creative industry. I haven't been always in the creative industry. That's something different. But yeah, I'm super happy that I went for my passion and dove into creativity 10 years ago. And I've been working in agencies and also big corporations. And now I'm building my own business around AI.
That sounds so great. And tell me about your origins. You started as a environmental engineer and you make a big leap to design. What took you to take that leap?
Well, I think it's it's always, I think when we are young, we tend to choose the safe path.
Uh-huh.
That
Yeah.
one that we hear that it's, I don't know, you can have a stable career out of it,
Mm-hmm.
that
Yeah.
you can live well. And suddenly, after studying many years and working in the industry, you realize that you are not happy and that you are regretting not trying. This, after all, is the regret of not trying enough to fight for your passion. In this case, it was creativity for me. So after a career in environmental engineering and years working in the industry, I decided to quit everything and start from scratch studying art direction. It's the best decision ever.
Yeah.
And it's just to let go the idea that your job title is your identity, that past efforts meant nothing, because
Uh-huh.
through that change, I learned that you just build over all the experience that you have. It's not that you start from scratch, you build over it, and it makes you a different professional because you bring different experiences also in the creative industry. So, yeah, I think it's also worth it because you prove to yourself that if you want to change in 5, 10 years, 15 years, 20, you can.
Okay. Getting goosebumps with what you're telling me. What or where do you find the courage to make that change? What makes you say, I'm going to do this and I don't care if a new realm and I want to try it. And if it maybe goes wrong, but I want to try it.
I think the courage comes from fear, actually.
Uh, Okay.
fear of never trying, fear of not feeling aligned to your values, to your purpose. So I think fear is really a huge strength to
Mhm.
try in
Okay.
many ways in life. So I think the courage, it was through fear, fear of not trying. I think I was driven by that.
So you would say like it was worse to stay and stay there than fail. It would feel like
Yes,
that.
what could be wrong? Like worst case scenario, I come back to be an engineer.
Exactly. You have worked for big companies like BCG and Superside in the realm of consultancy. What would you say that it is what makes a service of consultation in AI successful?
I think is the human connection.
Okay.
So actually, I think is less about tech and more about humans and change management and really being empathetic with the industry. In this case, is the creative industry. So getting to know who creatives are, what are their fears, what are their concerns, and talk not much and listen a lot.
Okay.
So you really get to understand all of that, the context and everything they need before even reacting to it. Once you get all that context, you'll be able to react to build something together. So, as a consultant in the AI industry inside creative, I think it's very important to build together, not to mandate what they need to do, but to build something together. So, the companies that we help, they feel that it's something they made themselves. So they don't feel like this is an invasion and we are telling them what to do. We built something that works for all of us because we worked on the mindset before. And now we are all ready to build together and get a better implementation because it's something they believe in.
Okay. So that's super interesting because when you start like trying to make that transition from the knowledge that you have and you have been doing as an executioner to start advising other people, you, what your mind goes to a lot of like technical things and what is the process and all this and what are the expectations. You don't want to let people down. You have your imposter syndrome. So it is really curious that you tell me that. That's so nice. And from doing the art direction and the design to advise people, what was
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
what was the first like crushes or the first like things that you bump into that you think someone else would have the same experience in the
Yeah.
transition?
Transitioning from a fully art direction role to a consultancy
Mm-hmm.
role
Yeah.
is complicated because you need to let go many things. Like you're used to using your creativity, your skills, design wise every single day, and little by little, you start using more your communication ability, your strategic ability, of course, your creativity, because you need to empathize with your clients and your audience. But it gets to a different level. So, for example, on my day to day, I use a lot my creativity, but not for storytelling purposes, for building experiences. So, the work we do as a consultancy is not boring, it's attractive. We build a storytelling, we don't build trainings, we build cooking classes and travels around the world like experiences so they are engaging. So creativity is there. It's just on a different spectrum. It may not be a branding, but
Uh-huh.
it's like an branded event what we are doing somehow, and I think it has also its beauty.
Okay, that's so nice. And how is that this flexibility that you have to have that sometimes it's a cooking class, sometimes it's a travel? Is it a bit scary to just have this wide range of possibilities where you have to kind of be prepared to guide to lead other people to get the results?
It is somehow scary because you never know the results. And that's the thing with AI. You don't have guarantees. You are doing consultancy the best way you can and you are able to do, but you don't have guarantees. You don't know how the team will react, how much support they'll have internally. So there are many things that are out of your control as a consultancy that depend more on the corporation, on the mood of the team, things that happen in the last 2 years that are out of your control. So I think that's complicated because you don't feel that you have the control, but you do have the control of your own experiences, what you build from the team. So, from the point of view of an art director, I need to be proud of the level of creativity that the change management experiences and the AI trainings have for the team. So I know that that will be fun for them to do. So regardless what they had 2 years ago, regardless of their mood, regardless of their love or hate for AI, they feel a spark during the trainings or during the hackathons, during the workshops that we do for mindset, so that they let themselves create just for the sake of creating during 2 hours, 4 hours, the duration of the workshop. So that really helps and makes me feel a bit more in control of the outcome because then they had fun while doing it and they are a bit more open throughout every single experience to use AI because it clicks like a positive experience in their minds, something that was made ad hoc for them, that was made with passion, that they see someone delivering with a lot of effort to make them have fun during it.
Okay. So you could say that maybe the most important metric would be the level of experience and engagement that people would have with the with your class or with your training.
It's an important thing to consider. So, whenever doing a huge transformation, you go through a lot of steps, but overall, the experience needs to be positive. If it's negative, if you feel someone is coming externally from your company to push you and use some tech that you don't believe in and that you hate and don't want to use, that's not going to be successful. You are going to have no adoption because you don't have believers inside. So building that experience in a fun way, in an engaging way with people that feel motivated somehow. So you have also to deliver some exchanges. Like what is going to happen for the team if they do these workshops? Are they going to have, I don't know, something into consideration from their leadership because they did a huge effort to go into this? And but yes, of course, fun is always worth it in a transformation. It's not
Okay,
seen only as tech, it's also seen as humanity and creativity.
that's so good. And do you have had a negative experience where you have prepared something than the person who asked you to do that consultancy didn't like it at the end? And if you have had that experience, have you been able to revert it?
I didn't exactly have that experience, but I had it in the opposite way.
Uh-huh.
I had people who didn't get why it was needed to have, like, I don't know, a cooking class or a flight around the world storytelling for the whole transformation. And because they thought this was wasted time, it was childish, or yeah, why do we need to do that? This makes no sense. It has nothing to do with AI. But normally these people are very much data focused. So after seeing the data at the end of the transformation, they understood the power of it. But I think it's tough, especially for business profiles, to get the power of storytelling, of engaging experience, to understand the mind of a creative with if you didn't have the experience of being one.
Yeah, totally. I imagine. I have had some experiences with people that are more technical, and sometimes it is like we speak like very different languages, and we have to like find a common ground to communicate for sure. How is been for you this? I would call it a radical change from being an employee to start being an independent service provider in this creative advice part. Has it been hard? How have you managed the change, especially having a small kid? How's that been?
Uh, I think I'll say it's a roller coaster. It
Mm-hmm.
still is.
Seems
I
like
don't
it.
think I'm over it yet. Fear is definitely there. Uh, Weekly, it's scary to make this step. It has been a scary movement for me because you lose your constant stability to suddenly fight for your beliefs. And even though it's not the first time I do it, it's the first time I do it with the risk of being on my own. So it's not the same a career change from one industry to another, but working for a big corporation, than suddenly having nothing, so to say, and start building on your own vision that seems to be so different to what the market is offering. So adapting if this is really a demand, if people will see value on the way you do things differently. So there are months that I feel that I'll better, I don't know, sell in TikTok shop and just earn some quick money. And there are some months that I'm super proud of fighting with for my values, my vision, and my love for creativity, respect for creatives in this AI time. So I think it's normal to live inside this dichotomy of having both at the same time. But overall, I'm really enjoying the journey. So I think as you're, I'm now on my own. So fails are mine and successes are mine too. So let's say that one compensates the other. And with every fail, I learn something super valuable, something that is huge for me to build over and to start understanding how business works, how client communication works, how do companies work around AI and continue improving.
So it is worth it then.
I think so. Like the level of control, I'll say,
Yeah.
it's really what makes it worth it for me. Like controlling when do I see my child? When do I stop
Uh-huh.
working? When can I have holidays because my child has holidays?
Yeah.
Or what type of client I don't want to have? What type of rate I'm not taking because it's not worth it. So things like that, I never felt that it's something that I have the control over. I can
Hmm.
ask for permission, but I always depending on someone else. And now I feel that I have control and that makes me feel powerful.
Yeah. I totally get it. I I have one part of my life that it was working with two other partners, and we have a small company, and we're having vacations whenever we want. We have times that we have a lot of work, and it was like not sleeping that much. But then, yeah, I get that freedom that you are saying now and feeling, and I totally get it. So would you say that it was the same mechanism that you use from jumping from engineering, environmental engineering to design, the one that you use here in a certain way that it was worth it to make the leap, and if you fail and come back?
I think it's different
Yeah.
because at the time I changed my career from engineering to design. I was very young. I had experience, but not a lot. I
Mhm.
had a lot to learn. So I'll say I was very fresh into the market
Okay.
and I didn't have deep knowledge about anything. in life. This time, I believe I worked enough in both engineering and sustainability, art direction, innovation, that I've learned a lot, not only from my successes, but a lot from many mistakes I did through it. So that gave me the opportunity of learning from every single fail, to push myself to go out of my comfort zone. For example, the easiest example that comes to my head is public speaking. When I started in a big corporation, I was really afraid of speaking over, even with a small crowd, like, I don't know, my team, 15 people or something like that. I was really afraid of it. And only by doing it, I was able to improve. And that opportunity came to me just by being in a big corporation and accepting those challenges. So I think I wouldn't be here, I wouldn't have taken the risk if I wouldn't have been given the opportunity to go out of my comfort zone, to learn in big corporations, to learn from leaders in all the companies where I was, is not only from what you want to become, also what you don't want to become. So sometimes you learn a lot just by seeing how other people react or how other people are envisioning things. And if you agree or disagree, you are also building who you are as a professional after a while. So I think now I was confident enough to fight for my vision that is different to the vision that I've seen in other companies. So I think it's confidence. So it's not only fear, like the career change, it's confidence that I can build something on my own now, because I collected many experiences thanks to the corporations where I worked.
Okay. And you did a bit of, you started this independent services or working with clients that were on of your own while you were still working in the as an employee?
No,
No.
I did not.
So you made the
I
jump?
started 6 months ago in
Uh-huh.
January.
Okay.
So I was teaching. I've been always teaching in
Yeah.
schools. I've been teaching AI for creatives for the last 3 years while I was
Okay.
in both corporations. But just teaching, not taking consulting clients or building my own business.
Mhm.
Teaching, yes, I was
Okay.
teaching in different schools.
But then you just, let's say you jump to the abyss with no clients. Where do you get your first experience then? And how, I don't know, how did that work? Because it seems like a very, very, at least to me, is a pretty risky move. How do you do that?
um, it's risky. The thing is that for over a year now, I've been saying no to many opportunities because I was fully employee somewhere else. So I knew that work was coming my way and I needed to say no. So I had that backup. That I knew that there was demand for my services, even though I didn't have the time back then. So when I decided to go full in on my own, I didn't even had to knock any door until now, until today. I didn't. I don't have a website where I offer my services. I didn't post a single post in LinkedIn about what do I offer. I have my full agenda booked just with mouth to mouth. So I'm lucky that I have a lot of connections, that a lot of people know me because of events I spoke in or because of collaborations I did with different schools. And there are not so many people working in AI creative, even though we are in the field, we feel that there's many people. There's not so many for the demand of it. So whenever someone cannot do a job, normally you refer someone else, and that's how work is coming to be nowadays. I know it's not ideal, but I'm working, building my business now. So hopefully, little by little, I'll have my website. I'll post about what I do, and I'll start pitching clients, but I'm also delaying it because I
Uh-huh.
don't have capacity at the moment. So
Okay.
I'm thinking I should do that, but do I want to do that right now?
That's so crazy. That's so great. AI is moving fast, and if you don't start learning it now, you may fall behind. You have probably already seen AI images online. Some look amazing and others not so much. The difference is not about which tool you use, it's about knowing how to use it well. I am Emmanuel Canton and I'm a design lead at an AI creative agency. I have worked with brands like Webflow, Amazon, and Vimeo. I've also helped more than 80 creatives and professionals to learn how to create amazing visuals using AI, and that's why I made this course. Because the problem isn't about finding the right tools, it's about knowing how to use them in a smart, creative way. In this course, you will learn how to create realistic high-end images, how to create an AI clone of yourself, of your client, and put it into any setting that you want, how to keep consistent style for your brand, and how to make product photos that look like they came from a pro studio.
Isn't just theory, and I'll show you step by step how to get results without wasting time trying to figure out everything alone. The first edition has limited seats and the price will go up later, but if you join now, you will get the best price and access to all feature updates for free. Check the link in the description. Don't wait until AI feels overwhelming and get ahead now. Join the priority list and start creating visuals that will skyrocket the quality of your work.
I would like to maybe make it clear for someone that has this knowledge on AI, or maybe it doesn't have to be AI, and maybe it can be like creativity or marketing. People were asking to work with you and you were saying no because they knew you already.
Mhm.
It's like that. Okay. What would you recommend to people to get this kind of lead flow, or I think that's how you say it, lead flow, to have this security, or like have this kind of like cushion when you're going to jump, the heat is not that hard.
Mhm. I think that there are a couple of things.
Uh-huh.
The first one is don't be invisible.
Uh-huh.
If nobody knows you exist, nobody knows you, and nothing will come to you. So I know this is a struggle. It was also for me. We tend to feel that we are not ready, that it's not enough, that we don't know as much as whoever else. So yeah, don't be invisible. Like everyone is special for something. It may be our style, our voice, our way of working. So just be yourself. Showcase what you do. It doesn't mean that you need to post every day or not even every week. I don't post as frequently, but I do post in LinkedIn. And it gave me some visibility that even though it doesn't translate on metrics like, I don't know, engagement, comments, whatever, they do write me. And a lot of work comes from people who saw me in LinkedIn and referred me to a friend. So
Okay.
that will be the first thing. Don't be invisible.
Uh-huh.
And also stay true to yourself. All of us, we are different. We sometimes forget that we have something that is unique to us, that it may be what we enjoy the most, or the mix of careers that we have, on the approach that we have whenever we do something. All of us, we have something unique. So find that out, find what is it, and highlight it whenever you are working. Because most of the work that is coming to me comes for storytelling purposes, experiences, or values. Because those are three things that makes me different when working with AI. So if you differentiate you from everyone else or most of the people working in AI in this case, it may be that more people reach out because they are more aligned to your way of working than someone else. And that's beautiful because we need diversity. We need people who feel more aligned to your colleague and people who feel more aligned to you. And that's amazing.
Okay. So storytelling, values, you mean people that share your same values. And
Value your same values. So, for example,
okay,
with they may share it or not share it, but they need to value them. So they want their team to listen to you. For example, I talk a lot whenever I do anything, doesn't matter, a talk, a workshop, training, I talk a lot about building your own responsible AI guidelines, sustainability, impact in society, respecting intellectual property, how does it work with AI, what you can and cannot do or should not do, um, keeping also a lot of the process done by hand, not to lose that attachment to digital tools. So that's my style, my values through AI. And if you want that for your team, even if you may or may not share all of them with me, it, then people will reach out.
okay, that's very good and interesting. You mentioned ethics on AI. What can you explain a bit more about that? What would be for you?
Um, well, I think it's a, a lot around ethics is
Yeah.
to having critical thinking. So not
Uh-huh.
just deciding what is good, what is bad, what is wrong, what we can or cannot do. It's to doubt yourself. So I always start doing a role play in every
Uh-huh.
training where they need to love AI and give me all the reasons they can think about for loving AI and hate AI and give me all the
Okay.
reasons why AI is the worst. And then we make a debate and a role play between them so they see how easy it is to be at the extremes, how tough is to live in between, because we all know that AI is not 100% good or 100% bad, but we need to live in that gray area and decide how are we navigating it. So around ethics, I always encourage my pupils to do their own responsible AI guidelines, write for themselves, because yours may not be the same as mine, because they depend on our individual ethics. There's not universal responsible guidelines because they depend on an individual basis. So we cannot control what on a global scale AI is, but we can control the individual use that we make of it. So things like respecting individual property. For example, to give you a more accurate example, I never use artist names in my prompts. That's written in my responsible AI guidelines. So I never do it because that's written there. If I wouldn't have taken the time to write them, I may have just keep with the flow and do what everyone else is doing without thinking twice about it. So that's what for me ethics are. It's giving yourself time to pause and think what you are doing around intellectual property, bias, environmental impact, so also optimization of workflows and things like that. So how do you work with this technology now that it exists? Where should I use it? Not where can I use it?
Okay. What would be optimizing for environmental wellness? Well, I don't know the word, but environmental sake. What would be?
Yeah, sustainability and AI is a topic that always is always close to my heart because I'm
Uh-huh.
always doubting myself. Like, am I doing good
Same.
to the planet? Am I doing something wrong? How can I be better? So, one of the things that I'm trying to do better
Mm-hmm.
is trying to optimize the way I use it. So, for example, whenever I write a prompt, instead of writing one prompt and wait for the full answer and then write a little sentence because I didn't take the time to realize that it was not completed, and then
Uh-huh.
continue working on it. I try to spend time and work on my prompts So I optimize what I'm really aiming from for AI, because sometimes I ask things that even though you use a prompt structure or you really know how to use it, they are too generic. You are missing context. You need several tries for it. So I'm trying to optimize the use of it, and of course, not use it for, I don't know, asking for a cheese sandwich recipe or things like that. So use it for things that are really worth it, and not because I can use it, because I should use it, because here it's really powerful and it's building onto my skill set and it's helping me move forward, not using it just for the sake of using it because it's there.
That's so good. I don't see many people speaking about ethics on AI, and I don't see many people, I see even less people giving the approach that you do. So it is very, it's very refreshing, and I don't know, it opens my mind to uh, a way of speaking with people with AI, because a lot of people I suppose that they haven't adopted AI because they have the resistance to the ethical implications of AI. So I think that this is a very good way of lower the resistance when you're going to educate people. That's very nice.
It depends. Like sometimes these eth- ethics don't lower the resistance, because sometimes resistance comes from fear, not from
Like
ethics.
what?
Many
Fear of what?
creative teams care about ethics, but it's secondary. First comes
Okay.
job security, and
Okay.
that I feel creative, that non-creative people is not doing my job now, that I have value, that I don't lose my essence. So I think if I think before ethics, fears come first, and I always recommend to look back on your work and realize that AI is as creative as the hands that use it.
Are there other things that people you find that they are so afraid of using AI?
Yes, I think whenever talking about fears in a team, you feel the fear of losing control, of not knowing what to do with the tool, or will the tool decide now how creative I am?
Uh-huh.
Am
Yeah.
I losing my essence as a creative if I use AI? So that's also a fear that I see often. Also, fear of missing out. So the speed that this technology brings with blocks people, and that's absolutely normal. Even for someone working full time on AI, it's also overwhelming. So
Yes.
it's understandable. So in that case, I'll say that it's a mindset change and self knowledge change rather than a technology change. So to reduce that fear, yeah, they'll need to map their processes, understand how they work, what makes them unique. Because sometimes creative people never thought what makes them unique. Because it's not Illustrator, InDesign, Photoshop what makes you unique. It's, it may be the way you organize layers. It may be the use of color. It may be your communication skills or your project management. So it doesn't even need to be your core design skills what makes you unique. So sometimes we never did that process of finding our uniqueness, and that also plays some fear, because when you don't understand what makes you unique and what's your superpower, you feel that you are replaceable by the AI. But all of
Totally.
us, we have something unique. So yeah, I'll say those are the two fears: feeling replaceable and fear of n- not having that control because of the speed.
Yeah, which I think that over the time, more and more, you can have more control. When Mid Journey started, it was like it was a nightmare to control. But right now, and not even Mid Journey, you can have there are so many different tools that you can choose the best tool for the best project that you're going to do. That I think people have got stuck with that initial phase of AI and haven't don't realize that AI is so much more manageable right now.
It is. But also the news provide us with so many different tools every day that I can understand that you feel that you have no control or that you feel replaceable, because
Uh-huh.
probably they did not spend enough time to really feel that they have control over the tools.
Okay. I'm interested in knowing from your perspective, and after working with so many different industries, what do you think is the most valuable skill that you should learn or develop in a world, let's say 10 years from now, that it would be even more led by AI?
It's hard for me to choose one, to be
Okay,
honest. I
the
may
more the
say
merrier.
once. I think pure creativity is one of them.
Okay,
So that type of creativity that sparks whenever you use it, that makes you excited, that you lose track of time, that one achieve only with pen and paper probably. And so that type of creativity will make the difference, not to make new things just by mixing old ones. So
yeah,
pure creativity that are doing something new, totally new, not recycling all ideas and mixing to build something new. So that's
okay,
what I mean. Then I'll say critical thinking. So your ability to doubt, to research, to contrast your ideas, to debate with friends, to check and double check facts. I think critical thinking will be key for success. And the last one will be communication. So in a world that is becoming more and more and more digital, that someone working alone, like that, like it may be my case, I speak more with GPT, like if it will be my coworker, than with a real human. Communication, be able to explain your ideas clearly, to speak to big audiences, to use storytelling as a powerful tool and build experiences. So it doesn't matter if it's virtual experience or in-person experiences. I think that's an ability that will really work together with AI to be successful.
okay. That's good. What kind of GPTs do you have in your computer that that you use the most?
I think the number one I use is one where I have all my bios in history.
Okay.
And it's trained with all my bios. So whenever I need to write one for an event, for a talk, for a school, I can just tell it to write me a new one for something else.
Okay.
Because, yeah, I really struggle writing things from my career or from my background. I spend a lot of time writing a little paragraph. So that's super useful. I think that sounds small, but it's huge in my day to day. And currently, I also have my talks and interviews and things like that transcript. So I have also a GPT trained with it. And as I'm writing a book at the moment on a creative, I'm using it to compile ideas and understand what did I say when, and how did I explain the same 2 years after. So I have my ideas more clearly mapped. So that together with Notebook LM using the same is giving me a lot of ideas currently. So I think those are the two that I use the most nowadays, like this week, for example.
Okay. But Notebook LM is not is another tool.
Yes, is another tool.
Okay. Do you finish your book? Do you still writing it, you say?
I'm finishing. It will finish this week and sent to the editorial.
Okay. Do you
Finally.
have how much time have you been writing it?
Over 6 months.
Okay.
It has been a lot of work. Writing a book was a much bigger challenge than I expected. Yeah, I wanted to write the book that I would have appreciated when starting using AI. And so it took me time to make the fake persona of someone starting using the technology, going through these ethics, fear, processes, and make it engaging, but also a workbook that you can do homework. But at the same time, with no tool mentioned, because I don't want it to be
Yeah.
obsolete in 2 weeks. So that was the huge challenge.
Yeah, that must have been a really hard mental effort to like get to that level of timelessness.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was it.
And do you have an idea of when maybe it would be published?
Summer. I don't know,
Summer
July, August, but summer.
2025. That's
Yeah,
so good. It's almost there.
it's almost there. Exactly.
What inspired you to write this book?
I haven't seen material,
Mhm.
physical material
Yeah.
that creatives can read to guide them. And I'm a huge fan of books. I read many creative books and I love learning that way. So I see many digital trainings and platforms, often in AI trainings, but most of them are tech focused and there's nothing printed or in PDF, only prompt guidelines, cheat sheets, and things like that. So there's nothing really focused on the mindset change, on the change management, on the transformation of a creative. So I wanted to go exactly there where I see the pain in the industry and try to be there for those creatives who need a push, some help to start with AI or to change the way they see AI in a way that they feel comfortable with it, that they don't feel pushed, but they feel that someone walks with them through every single step so they can transform during the journey without even talking about tools.
Okay. So maybe at the end of this year, you will have some creatives saying the book of Ines helped me so much, and right now I finally lose my fear of embracing AI.
I hope so.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it will. I've seen your things, especially LinkedIn posts, but I
Mhm.
can see how pretty and how detailed things are and how you like explain things step by step. So you can tell that you have a very strong t-shirt background. And yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a super successful book.
Hope so. Let's see. At least I enjoyed a lot the process, and I also learned a lot through it.
That's perfect. What is the next big milestone for you?
Next big milestone is to publish the book, to be honest, but it's short
Okay.
term. It's not
Okay.
very much long term. Next big
Uh-huh.
milestone for me will be to launch my business, to actually have a website where I
Okay.
offer my services and I can speak loudly about what I do, my way of working, and be open for clients. I'm still doing the strategy to define the nitty gritty of it, but ideally, I would like to focus on two type of clients, creatives per se, that I would love to have my own training online, workshops, um, digital products for them to walk them throughout, maybe taken out from the book, and building a course out of the book for creatives, and maybe building a community for them to have challenges, for example, always with creativity and fun at the core, maybe sustainability, who knows? Most of the AI work I do on a personal level is sustainability. So maybe something in that direction. And at the same time, work on my business clients. So offering transformations for companies, agencies, creative teams, what I'm currently doing. So helping them transform the team from scratch, understanding their needs, understanding their teams, and building something ad hoc so they transform not just in a technical way, but in a human way, uh, to be ready for what's coming, not to have immediate success or increase their direct savings or by using AI, but also work on the long-term transformation.
Okay. One question and then another one about the subject. When you say prepare them for what's coming, what do you mean?
I mean that every company should be evolving. So not just learning how to use X, Y, Z tool and that's it. They should be constantly evolving. So whenever I say preparing, it's not just by doing an assessment and training people and leaving. As what I'm doing is working with them on a long term. So I do the assessment, I do the training, but I also work with leadership to also help them change mindset and be able to work with their teams throughout the change. Uh, I don't just do the training and then stop. I do follow ups every 6 months, or I do mentorship with the team so they can bring me every month one project. So we review it together and assess what could be done better with AI, what not. So another type of service through, more long term. Not it doesn't stop whenever they all learn about AI tech. We keep working together so they don't get they are not obsolete after a while, and also pushing the mood of the team. So maybe they all got trained, but we do creative hackathons twice a year. So they get that motivation speed by using AI. They learn from what others did. They exchange. So building those safe environments to listen, to exchange, to learn, to have fun with the technology.
I'm pretty sure that your clients are super happy. As someone that is so close, so nearby AI, and you're going to build your own company in the future, what would be the part that you would do yourself? What would be the part that you hire? Which roles? And which would be the part that you delegate to AI?
That's a really cool question, and you'll be surprised by the answer.
Okay.
I think I'll I'll hire someone to do my branding.
Uh-huh.
Even though it's the part I enjoy the most, I think that's the reason why I should handle it to someone else.
Okay.
Because, I think I have like 5 different folders in Pinterest with
Uh-huh.
inspiration for my branding. I've been building this for years, like the vision I have for it and references. I have maybe 5 or 6 different illustrators open with logos, with namings, with colors, with everything. So I think I'm too excited by it to be
Okay.
professional with it. So that's something I'll definitely hire someone to do it.
Okay. Yeah, I totally get it.
And something I'm currently delegating to AI is, for example, doing all the automations. So email, answering email marketing funnels, um, all the storage with financials, Google Drive linked with many different things, with my accountant, with so all of that financial and billing stuff, I'll fully delegate to AI. And things that I'll do on my own, I love doing the experiences. So thinking how every single experience is shaped. What are the details? So if I'm doing a travel experience, do I print individual tickets with the name of each invite? Do we have a passport with ad hoc stamps to sign every time they have a new skill? So all those details of the experience, I love thinking about the storytelling and experience. I think that's something that makes me feel close to creativity and that I wouldn't like to delegate. And I think something I will share with someone, like hire someone to do it with me, will be the strategy and change management part. Because I cannot do everything on my own. And if someone has the same vision, values, and enjoys the way I work, probably in the future I'll need someone to work along with me to deliver, to be able to strategize, and to handle the different teams.
Okay. So it would be a rough way of saying it. Maybe you will have a two people business.
Yeah, it probably is.
You think it's like what you do, it can be sustained like that.
At this stage, it could. I'm also not sure if I would like to see it grow because it comes with many consequences.
Yeah.
So I think at this stage, two people business may be enough. So probably we have different skill sets. So I'm not so strong on a technical level. For example, if code is required and things like that, I'm not so strong in that area. So maybe someone who can collaborate with me, interested in AI creative, but with a more technical skill set will be ideal to keep growing the business in the direction that I envision. And the rest, it could be always collaborations and AI. that can I mentioned automations, but there are so many things that it can do for a business. So even for building the business plan and the strategy, I'm using AI a lot to talk to myself and challenge my own ideas and looking for things that can go wrong in this direction. Because sometimes what you are missing is discussing your own ideas. So even just for that, I'm finding it very helpful.
Totally. Yeah. I try as well to build like a database of my own thoughts and histories and stuff. I find it super time consuming, so I have to make myself the habit. But I think that's something super useful that everyone that is aspiring to have a thought leadership business should have. Do you use ChatGPT for having your database? Do you use another tool, or where do
Mm,
you have stored that, and how do you interact with it?
I use Google Drive for
Uh-huh.
everything, data, docs, presentations. I have everything there, and I have a lot of automations done through Init or
And
Make. I use
uh-huh.
both, and I have different automations. So if it's data and email marketing is one. If it's a marketing funnel, it's another one. If it's data storage and billing to see my revenue, it's a different one. So normally I'm building tiny automations, nothing huge, to be honest. Everything is super simple. Probably with time, this could also evolve and be a huge one or
Okay.
something like that. But at this stage, it's been just trial and error and learning by doing. Because I also didn't have much experience with automations before doing all of this.
A lot of people. Yeah, this seems very new, and I was like probably a lot of super technical roles, and now it's like you have it very close uh, to use it yourself. Uh, what can you give me one example of automation that you use the ones that saves you the more time?
Yes, I have one that whenever I receive a bill, it
Uh-huh.
saves the attachment automatically to my drive that I share with my accountant.
Whoa, that's so
So
interesting. That's
I think
oh
that's
yeah,
my
my
top
God.
one.
That's so much time saved. Yeah, that's such a pain on the trimesters. Like, uh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And if you have one, you rely on one job and do just a little, it's not that much. But if you have like a lot of income of clients, you forget things, and yeah, it can be a very time consuming task. So
Yeah.
that's so good.
And even
That's so interesting.
expenses. Like
Yeah.
we pay many licenses per month. So
Hmm.
even just the expenses that they save automatically to a folder, that's worth it.
Okay, but you have to connect the spends. I'm sorry, you have to connect the platform every time you log to a new one, I suppose.
No, you can tag the words that it needs to have. So
Uh-huh.
I tag all the tools that I have a license in,
Okay.
and whenever they receive an email from with one of those tags, they save the chat attachment, and I don't receive any other email with a chat attachment from Midjourney or Make or any of them. So
Oh, okay. I think you could sell that. People would love it. I would buy it. How did you start working with Mr. Marcel School?
I started working with Mr. Marcel when I just started with AI. I think I started in summer 2022, and I had a huge imposter syndrome when I started
Uh-huh.
with AI because
Yeah.
nobody knew anything in 2022, not even GPT was launched.
Yeah.
But I thought that I didn't know enough and that I needed to prove that I knew what I was doing with AI in my team. So I joined Mr. Marshall School as a student, and I joined an artificial intelligence with AI training. And it was exciting to have someone, because at that stage we were all exploring. So I learned from what other people were exploring. The teacher was exploring. We learned together through that training, and that gave me the confidence that I needed to see that I knew more than I thought, that it was worth it. And when Mr. Marshall reached out, I think next month or in a couple of months, asking if I would like to be the teacher for the next cohort of that training, I said yes. It was in the evening, so I could be my full-time job and teach in the evenings. And I was excited to to have a different vision, to have something hands on, because the training I attended was very theoretical, to have to have the pupils work, to make tiny workshops inside the training. So as I had a long time, because this I had like I think 6 months to prepare it. So it took me time, but I was able to do the storytelling, the flight experience, build everything interactive in Miro, and build this huge experience focused on design processes and not just on tools. And it was a really exciting experience, my first teaching experience. And since then, I haven't stopped teaching. So it was also realizing how much I enjoy it. I'm really thankful that they gave me this opportunity.
It seems that you have taken a lot of good decisions and regarding timing and regarding placing. Like you have started at the right time, early. You have also connected with the right people, and that has, I think, that's how I see it. That has brought you to the success that you have now. What would is there something that you feel that has not been a good decision in this path, recent past with AI,
Mm,
or maybe a little bit earlier?
I don't think so. Like I think, of course, like every step has its good things, its bad things, its mistakes, its successes. But I do think that the whole journey brought me where I am, and I'm really excited to be where I am. So I really embrace everything that happened in the last 3 years through AI. I also think that it's not only the last 3 years what brought me where I am. So before that, I was working in design futures, design innovation, new ways of working. So I think it's the constant curiosity to know what's coming, to see things in a different way, to explore a different way of doing something that led me to explore AI. So I think it's just not a coincidence, not a purpose driven action, because I didn't even know where this will lead, but just following step by step and embracing also the mistakes I did in the past that were many, like most of us in our careers, because those mistakes make us who we are now and made us also learn a lot to be better nowadays.
How do you started to learn AI to become to start this transition from just designing and doing art direction to incorporate this new tool, a new thing that no one was too sure about how what it was, and everyone was skeptical, and some people didn't see it interesting or didn't thought that it was going to be a big thing. What made you interested in starting, and how was the process?
At that time, I was working in bringing design features as a methodology to my design team. And that's when I saw AI for the first time. It was, summer 2022. And I thought that AI was amazing to
Okay.
visualize futures.
What
So not to,
when
hmm?
you say visualize futures, for those that never heard about it, what would you mean?
So design futures is a methodology that helps you visualize the possibilities. So not just a single future that it's coming, but mm, probable or improbable futures that may or may not happen. So you visualize it and you can decide not only the future you want to build, also the one you want to avoid. So it helps you make it tangible so you can then go back to the present and strategize or prepare for that range of possibilities that you choose. But sometimes, whenever you work around the future, it's too ethereal.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It's tough to imagine a prototype of a product, of a service, a scenario that it doesn't exist. So you often go to science fiction, comics, and those type of illustrations. So whenever I saw AI, I thought, finally, we have a tool that helps us envision the ideas that we have for the future without spending so much time building it. Because at the end, in design futures, you spend a lot of time brainstorming. You do quick brainstormings, quick sketching, quick ideation around prototyping and envisioning these futures. So to see those scenarios, AI was super powerful. So I started exploring it for that purpose, especially around sustainability. So
Okay.
how would the future without meat be? What could
Terrible.
happen if we only eat algae, for example? How does a kitchen look like if we need to grow our own algae in the kitchen? Or how does tourism look like if we depend on algae and on the beach has all of them have are full of algae and people need to swim also there? Or how is an algae farm or garden? How do you garden algae? Or how do you shop in the supermarket algae? So to envision all of that, I started being super excited because I could finally open conversations visually. I could
Okay.
have images on the table and make people think. I can be provocative in a very quick way. So you just a couple of people adding post-its on a board, and 2 hours later, I can provoke conversations with their idea. So that was
So
super
cool.
powerful, and that's how
Yeah.
it all started. And then I brought AI in the shape of a workshop, a mindset workshop, to my design team, and I was shocked to see the the different opinions around it. Like, I was so excited that I didn't even realize at that point that it had also negative effects and that it will trigger fears. I didn't realize. So when I
Okay.
brought it to my team with a lot of excitement, I realized the debate and how people were resistant and how some of them were excited, but most of them resistant and with fear. So I was shocked. And then is when I saw the potential of not treating it as just tech, but a transformation and a mindset change for a team.
That's so good. You went directly embracing AI with excitement because you had a like a gap in the process that you were doing, that you felt like finally I had something that I can feel with this new tool. So you almost didn't feel the initial resistance that most of
No.
people have, that feel so comfortable doing only the traditional design.
Yeah.
That's so nice. I felt kind of the same. I didn't have a team back then, but when I saw the potential and what people were sharing with Midjourney, the first version of Midjourney, I was like, finally, I can make cool mock-ups for my projects, because always have liked to have the most possible beautiful website, portfolio, uh, assets and things that I do, and I was sometimes like, ah, but everyone has this, or this is like, it's not custom enough. And when I find out what AI was doing, I was like, ah, finally, I can put the bottle that I design in an environment that I want with the elements that I want, and yeah, it felt so much empowering to use that tool. Okay, so we are reaching to the end. I would like to ask you, do you have any resources or recommendations that, or both, that you want to share with people that will listen? What would you tell someone that it is on maybe an employee or someone that he has some knowledge of AI and they want to start teaching this knowledge and helping other people with it? What would you say to that person as like a quote?
Okay. Sometimes we give ourselves too much pressure on exposing ourselves. We want to do things, but maybe we feel that we are blocked by that type of exposure. But this doesn't mean that we don't have enough value. And not everything needs to be 100% or 0%. You can start little by little, step by step. So maybe you don't start doing an online course, but you may start having a buddy. So find your way of being visible. Even if it doesn't mean doing that big leap that you are waiting for, give yourself the chance to start little.
Okay, perfect. And regarding the resource,
At this stage, I think the best way to contact me is reach out through LinkedIn. Whenever I have my website ready, my email marketing funnel ready, I have other ways. But at this stage that my book is not launched and my website is not launched, I think LinkedIn is where I'm most responsive. So feel free to reach out. I'm happy to answer every question I get.
okay, perfect. Then I would let a link on the description, and whoever wants to contact you, they know how to. Thank you so much. This
Thank
has
you.
been so nice, and we're very happy to have had you in this podcast.
Thank you for having me. This has been a great experience. I loved sharing.
Same. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too.